Broadcasting from the studios of Business RadioX, it's time for Advisory Insights, brought to you by Oberman Law Firm, serving clients nationwide with tailored service and exceptional results. Now, here's your host.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Advisory Insights Podcast. I'm your host, Stuart Oberman. Have we got a bombshell topic today? Marijuana, cannabis. So, how does that affect the employee workplace? Employers, I'm going to tell you, you got to deal with it. So, what are we doing? Topic today, employee marijuana usage, uptick, legalization. I don't care what area of the spectrum you're on. I don't care what you believe in. I don't care if you're pro marijuana. I don't care if you're against marijuana. I don't care if you're against recreational use, but therapy-wise, treatment-wise, it's in play. It's a topic. You got to deal with it. So then the question is, what are you doing to deal with it? I will tell you, our employers are struggling, to say the very least, to comply with complex state and local marijuana laws. State after state is having their own discussions. And then come to find out, what do you do? What do you do if your employee goes to a state that allows marijuana usage? Comes back and tests positive. What do you do? Statistically, Big Pharma, under their results, the marijuana usage is increasing. So you have got to figure out, how are you going to deal with it? How and why are you going to deal with it? Is it an issue? Or you really don't care? You're statistically going to see that more employees are testing positive for marijuana. Now, how do you test? Why do you test? Are your policies in place? Are you testing? At interviews? Does your state allow you to refuse employment if a worker tests positive? What do you do if you have an employee that goes to another state and you request a random drug test because you got a written policy to do that? If not, you got a problem. What are you going to do? How are you going to deal with it? What are you going to do with that employee? Are you putting them on their probation? Are you firing them? From our first few episodes, we're talking about employee manual. Perfect example. Are you up to date on your laws? I would tell you what's occurring is many states are legalizing medical and recreational use marijuana. You got to either adapt or die. Now, what's happening is also that many employers are hesitating to test workers as they struggle with staffing shortages. Some have dropped THC from their pre-employment drug panels. Look, we've got employers that want to openly hire convicted felons. I get these calls. Stuart, I can't find a person to work in my company, my organization. I can't even get people to come to my interviews. I got people ghosting me on Zoom. What are we going to do? You've got to make a decision. It's an internal decision. From a legal standpoint, it depends on what state you're in, what your regulatory issues are, how are you complying with drug testing. There's so many issues to that one sentence, I drug test. There's so many issues to look at. I think you got to take things in consideration. I think you've got to figure out, am I going to keep it, drug testing, or am I going to modify it? Are there certain things I'm going to do? Is that in writing? Let me tell you, you do one, you do for all. Are you discriminating against those that use it for recreational purposes, medical purposes, medicinal purposes. What are you doing? This topic is not going to go away. In the legal profession, we have specific cannabis attorneys that look at these issues. We deal with this quite often, but now it's becoming specialized. Now you got consultants. Now you've got advisors on regulatory issues regarding selling and utilizing marijuana on recreational and medical use. I want you to take a look at your policies. I want to take a look at your procedures. Go back to our first couple podcasts. This is why, for those that followed us on to Dental Law Radio, this is why we decided to go with advisory insights, because these are so broad issues that affect so many employers, local, state, regional, national, global. This is why we want to branch out and look at some things that we would not necessarily look at on previous podcasts, but we're drilling it down now. Take a look at it. If I've raised anything awareness, it is what is your policies. Now, I will tell you, I'll equate this to alcohol. You're in a state that legalizes marijuana. Medical, recreational. If that employee comes to work impaired from marijuana usage, and they are in a high-risk profession, or their conduct will endanger the health, safety, welfare of other employees, you've got to look at this. I don't care what the law is, whether it's legalized or not. Alcohol is legalized. If you got an employee that comes inebriated, what are your policies? You got to have the same thing for drugs. Marijuana is here to stay. It's not going away. It's a question of how far that door is going to open. As usual, folks, we're taking a 10,000-foot view on a very, very complex issue that we deal with. It seems like over and over again. So, as we say, folks, thanks for joining us on the Advisory Insights podcast. If you want to reach out to us, give us a call, 770-886-2400. Visit us on the web, obermanlaw.com, OBERMAN, law.com. Or send me an email, Stuart, Stuart, at obermanlaw.com. Please keep listening to us. Take what we say, utilize it, review it, and keep joining us. Thanks, everyone. Have a fantastic day.
Thank you for joining us on Advisory Insights. This show is brought to you by Oberman Law Firm, a business-centric law firm representing local, regional, and national clients in a wide range of practice areas, including healthcare, mergers and acquisitions, corporate transactions, and regulatory compliance.